Greatest walk-off game-winning touchdowns in NFL history. There's nothing quite like witnessing a legendary walk-off touchdown, unless you're on the wrong end of it. The NFL is filled with epic, unforgettable walk-off game-winning touchdowns, and here are some of the absolute best the NFL has ever seen. What better way to kick off this list than the only walk-off game-winning touchdown in Super Bowl history, and during one of the greatest comebacks in NFL history, Super Bowl 51. It was Tom Brady's Patriots taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Late in the third quarter, the Patriots were down 28-3 to the Falcons. But slowly but surely, they clawed their way back and forced the NFL's first and only overtime in the Super Bowl. They won the coin toss, marched down the field, and sealed the deal with a walk-off touchdown run by James White. Easily the most epic Super Bowl comeback ever.
He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl!
But as iconic as that was, what's more dramatic than getting your first win of the season in Week 13 with a walk-off game-winning touchdown?
Watch the cushion here by Dantzler. He did it earlier and gave the cushion. Huge cushion.
Back in 2021, the Detroit Lions were having a rough season with 0 wins. But in Week 13, they finally snagged their first victory in epic fashion, as quarterback Jared Goff found rookie receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown for the walk-off touchdown at Ford Field.
It is caught. Touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Coming in next is an even crazier one. So, in a regular season showdown between the Arizona Cardinals and the Buffalo Bills in 2020, it looked like the Cardinals were toast, as Stephon Diggs made a sick diving 21-yard touchdown catch with 34 seconds left.
End zone! Touchdown!
Putting the Bills up 30-26. But the Cardinals weren't done yet. They marched 75 yards in 4 plays. With just 2 seconds on the clock, DeAndre Hopkins snatched an unbelievable game-winning 43-yard Hail Mary over 3 defenders.
Jordan Poyer came in late. He's got Micah Hyde on his back.
While that was insane, sometimes you need a bit of luck to pull off a game-winning touchdown. And luck definitely favored the Green Bay Packers back in a 2000 Week 10 rivalry matchup against the Minnesota Vikings. The game was tied at 20 in overtime. And with the Packers facing a 3rd and 4, Brett Favre tossed up a 50-50 ball to Antonio Freeman. Freeman got a little lucky, but he finished it off and handed Green Bay a 26-20 walk-off miracle.
But he caught it. Touchdown.
But you know this list wouldn't be complete without featuring some of the greatest Hail Marys in NFL history. Let's run things back to the 2014 NFC Championship game between the Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks. The crazy part, with just 2.5 minutes left in the game, the Seahawks were down bad, trailing 19-7. But somehow, they mounted a comeback that led to overtime.
Toward the end zone. It is.
And the best part? In overtime, Jermaine Kearse, tightly covered, hauled in a 35-yard pass in the end zone from Russell Wilson, sending the Seahawks fans into absolute delirium and sending the Seahawks to back-to-back Super Bowl appearances.
Get it to him 4 times in this game and threw 4 interceptions earlier. That's his one catch.
But as crazy as that was, it's got nothing on this next play. Back in 2015, in a heated NFC North showdown between the Green Bay Packers and Detroit Lions, it was crunch time. The Packers were down 23-21 in the fourth quarter, with the ball on their own 39 and no timeouts left. The Lions had everything lined up to prevent a 61-yard miracle, even placing 2 defenders at their own 45-yard line to stop any lateral play. But what they didn't count on was Aaron Rodgers being bold enough to chuck a Hail Mary. And he did just that. Damn! That Rodgers to Rodgers connection was pure gold.
Rodgers, a game ender for the Packers.
While Rodgers is known for his Hail Marys, you've got to hand it to Tim Tebow for throwing one of the most exciting game-winning passes in NFL playoff history. Back in 2011, leading the Denver Broncos, Tim Tebow orchestrated one of the wildest, most thrilling seasons in NFL lore. Despite their struggles, like having the league's 8th lowest scoring average and a tough point differential, they clawed their way into the playoffs at 8-8. In the wild card game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, tied 23-23 at the end of regulation, Denver won the coin toss in overtime. On the first play, Tim Tebow connected on a 20-yard post route to Demaryius Thomas, who took it 60 more yards for a walk-off, game-winning touchdown, sending the Steelers home with a heartbreaking loss.
And Thomas, how about that speed? Outrunning both defenders for the touchdown.
As crazy as that pass and run to the end zone was, it's still not as wild as what Steve Smith pulled off in the 2003 NFC Divisional Round. The Carolina Panthers and St. Louis Rams entered overtime locked at 23 in a tense playoff game. But neither team could break the tie in the first overtime after both missed field goals. To start the second overtime, Carolina received the kick and wasted no time, with Steve Smith capping off the play in style.
Right now. I'll let you do that. Smith with 7 catches for 170 yards and the 69-yard touchdown play to win it for the Panthers.
Now that's one heck of a play that sealed the deal.
Smith scores and the Carolina Panthers win in overtime.
Speaking of insane endings to a game, let's take it to a whole nother level with the Minneapolis Miracle. Back in January 2018, the Minnesota Vikings faced off against the New Orleans Saints in the NFC Divisional Playoff matchup. This was the Vikings' first playoff appearance since the 2015 season. With just 10 seconds left on the clock, the Saints seemed sure to secure a spot in the NFC Championship game after taking a 24-23 lead with a late field goal. The Vikings, on the other hand, had no timeouts left and the ball at their own 39-yard line. And then, the unthinkable happened.
The pass is caught! Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Vikings win it!
But at number 1, we've got the biggest miracle. Back in 2010, when the New York Giants faced off against the Philadelphia Eagles, the stakes couldn't have been higher. Both teams held 9-4 records and were vying for the first place in the NFC East. With the game tied 31-31 and just seconds remaining in regulation, the Giants were forced to punt, and everyone was gearing up for overtime. Tom Coughlin instructed punter Matt Dodge to kick the ball out of bounds, but because of a high snap, he kicked a line drive to Deshaun Jackson, making the play that would go on to be forever known as the punt by Giants fans.
Bobbles it and now has to try and recover. Deshaun Jackson. Are you kidding? Deshaun Jackson.
His 65-yard return gave the Eagles a stunning 38-31 victory, a first in NFL history for a game to end on a walk-off, game-winning punt return, sending the Eagles back to the playoffs for the 3rd consecutive year.
And now in for the touchdown, no flags. Unbelievable.
If you had a blast watching these incredible game-winning moments, smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated on our latest crazy content. Drop a comment below and let us know which moment blew your mind the most. Catch you all in the next one.